Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm back to talk more about Real Housewives of Atlanta because there's a few things that's been going on that we have to talk about. If you're new to the channel, then hey, make sure that you guys are coming into the video. You're liking, commenting, subscribing, and also sharing the video. Okay. Now, the first person I want us to get into, honey, is Drew Sidora. All right. Drew hasn't been as active on social media aside from posting photos and stuff, but she did have to come down and get into the trenches with a few people, and I want us to get into it. Okay. First of all, I have to shout out the reality entertainment TV because listen, that's where we finna get some of this stuff from. Okay. So let us go ahead and hop right on into it. So this is really about Drew and her lies. All right. Someone says everyone lies. The difference is Drew has been caught lying multiple times last season with that kissing the girl scandal and Kandi. So Drew came to the front and said, girl, I was vindicated. Like, go back and watch last season because you must have missed that. All right. And I think that she could have been talking about the reunion. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she could have been talking about the reunion where things were brought to the front about her messing with Ty. You know, Ty has been over on Basketball Wives, and Ty pretty much, is saying that it wasn't cheating. Let Ming Lee tell it. Ming was saying that Ty was cheating with Drew. Ty says no, that's not true. You know, I was just pretty much supporting my friend. Ming Lee is feeling like, oh no, I feel like this was a emotional connection that you guys had, and Ty's like, well, no, it's really an emotional support situation because she was going through stuff, and I was just listening to my friend. And Ming is like, but you was on the phone with her for like 3,000 minutes. And that equates to like 50 hours. All right. So that's a lot of time that you spent on the phone. But I'm just kind of like, girl, people spend about that much time on the phone with the people they gotta talk to when it comes to their bills and shit being too high. Okay. Why the hell is my power bill this high? What's going on? I mean, people spend that amount of time on the phone with their besties and stuff. Okay. So I just felt like she could have came with better receipts, right? In my personal, right? If Ming was gonna say that this girl was cheating, like what did you see? Did you get any text messages? Were there any screenshots of stuff? I do know that at that reunion that I'm referencing as far as, what Drew may be talking about from the previous season, Sheree did have some text messages that she says was more mysteriously dropped on her front door. And when she presented it to the front, it wasn't any damning evidence that confirmed that Drew was really messing with Ty. It just said that they were in communication with each other. She did fly out to one of Ty's games, but it wasn't anything to confirm that they was over there hunching and bopping. For real, for real. Now, granted, keep in mind, if Drew did, then that would be that she lied about it, right? And I still would not give a damn because I'm not Ty, but Ralph has come to the front and said things that we all feel like is a lie as well. Okay, so Porsha asked him, has he cheated? He literally lied to this lady's face and said no. Okay, so it is what it is, right? But again, I feel like nobody really came with anything. The only thing Kandi said was like, Ty is like a girl crush for Drew. I mean, just like Ty said on Basketball Wives, all the ladies crush on her. Like all of them think she's attractive. So they brought Ty to the set. Okay, those two became friends, hung out, whatever. Now I need a little more evidence because according to Ralph says that Drew told him out her mouth that she cheated. Now, I don't know if she did or didn't, but that's what he says. And I take some things that Ralph says with a grain of salt. I don't always fully believe him. Okay, so did she tell you that out her mouth directly, or did she just tell you how much she enjoys hanging around Ty and you took that as she was cheating on you? Okay, so go away from me with this, Ralph. Okay. But y'all can leave y'all thoughts below. All right. But let's keep going, okay? Because Drew did have more to say. So once she said that she was vindicated, the person says, please stop letting these women play in your face. I'm not saying you have to be petty or stoop to their level, but I hate the way they keep playing you like a joke and using the fact that you're an actress to invalidate your feelings. Ooh, you are the Drew Sidora and was Drew Sidora before any of these women were on this show. Stop letting them play with you, baby. And I agree. Okay. We definitely knew Drew before we knew of quite a few of them. All right. So yeah, don't let them play on your top. But Drew says they say all these things and do them behind my back in scenes where I'm not present. I can't wait for our face to face at the reunion though. Now, Drew, you better be ready. Okay, if you can't wait, you and Angela talking about how y'all so ready for this reunion, you better be ready. And the advice that Kandi gave to Shamea was make your comebacks short and sweet. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got this long, drawn out comeback or whatever the case is, it may not make the edit. All right. So make sure when you punching, you really got them punchlines and you ready to go. You ready to say what you got. You giving it to them straight and moving forward. So hopefully, what you ladies have to say definitely make the cut. We shall see. Okay, we shall see. But in addition to that, as we're speaking more on Drew, you guys know that Porsha had the Pampered by Porsha event where she had all of the ladies come out, put on some lingerie, and be a part of a photo shoot. Right? Because she definitely was using it for promo. I don't care what nobody's saying. And Drew was like, like, girl, like you kicked me out the go naked company, girl. You ended that contract. So what's really going on over here? Matter of fact, I want to play some of that audio from Drew. I know that's
Or
my
yourself,
right,
Rick.
girl.
I was wondering why I was invited. Oh, because let's be clear, she made good money with me on Go Naked.
Okay, let's be clear. She made good money with her. So somebody got in the comments of Porsha's video and they said, oh, I hope Drew got paid for this, girl. And Porsha said, yes, the beautiful Drew Sidora was paid by Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was at work cackling. Cackling. It did not come from her check. It came from Bravo. So Drew did get paid. So Drew says, well, girl, over here in the comments, Drew says, I mean, by those standards, I was also at work on her birthday trip. Well, yeah, I feel like technically you were because those friends that came to be a part of that birthday trip that according to Porsha they planned, those friends were only there for one night only. I'm from out of town. So it wasn't a birthday trip. It was a cash trip and you were definitely at work no matter how much she may have or may not have wanted you to be there. That's exactly what it was. So shoulder shrug, okay? Um, let's see what else do we have over here as we speak on Porsha and Shamea. I did think this was really nice, okay? Porsha did make a nice post to Shamea for her birthday. I told you guys yesterday that it was Shamea's birthday. Look at the besties, the ex best, the former, the whatever, the past, present besties all together. So sweet. Now, Porsha did not acknowledge any post that Shamea made to Porsha's daughter for her birthday. But I guess after seeing how things are looking on camera, she knew Shamea's birthday was coming up. And it seems like the door is not closed. The door is cracked. Okay? It's cracked at this time. So Porsha says, happy birthday, Shamea. I hope you get everything your heart desires. You deserve it. And Shamea, you could tell this really warmed Shamea's heart because just not too long ago, we heard Shamea sitting on multiple platforms where she wants things to be reciprocated, right? The energy I give you, I would love to see you give that back to me in return. If I'm not going to let nobody talk about you or come to me about my best friend, I want you to do the same. Don't let nobody feel comfortable enough to sit down and talk about me to you or anything or come to you and say, I said X, Y, and Z and you not shut it down, right? Because if you do that, I'm going to start feeling like that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? That's making me think about this the baby song that I really like. But anywho, child, when he said something about you weren't saying that when they was talking down on me or whatever. But anywho, child, I think it's called Taking It Out. I'm thinking about taking it out. Okay, that's one of my songs. But anywho, aside from that, Shamea did respond after, doing an interview. Some she want reciprocation. Well, Shamea, I guess you're getting it. You did make a post to Porsha's daughter for her birthday. So it looks like Porsha's returning that favor for your birthday. And Shamea says, this made my day. Thank you, Porsha. I appreciate it. Okay. I appreciate that. Now, that's good. I feel like this is a minor step. In the next direction. But you know what? I mean, just because Porsha made this post don't mean that she fucking with Shamea right now. Okay? Because they have not been talking, and it's been about a year. Okay? Where at the top of the season, Shamea was like, just pray for us. And this, that, and the other. And Shamea clearly hasn't she did Watch What Happens Live. She did another sit down with somebody last week where she was just saying the same thing. Like, I get it. You don't like me, girl. I get it. I see how you want to be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe that's soft in Porsha's heart to see Shamea get a bit emotional, talking about the friendship. But, I mean, she could still not be rocking with her. Like, I'm going to just tell her happy birthday or whatever, for semantics or something. But I don't know. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to get into that today because I have other things at play. We'll get into that at a later time. But Shamea does go on to do another interview. And that interview takes place after Porsha made this post. And I'm going to have to check it out to see, what she says. Hopefully, she don't say nothing too bad when it comes to the friendship. But I also want her to be honest, too. And if Shamea being honest about how she's been feeling, if that makes you feel away, Porsha, then that's on you. Okay? Because she got to be honest with how she's been feeling, even though you did give her a happy birthday post. All right? But that's what's going on with those two ladies. Let us go ahead and move on because Kandi is asked her thoughts about the new cast of RHOA. And I want us to check out what Miss Kandi had to say. All right? So let's get into it.
Well, honestly, I don't know either of the ladies. I have had a chance to speak to Kelly over the phone before because she's cool with Shamea and, they've been hanging out a lot. And y'all know me and Shamea are cool. So, Kelly actually, when you was out of town the other day and I needed to get a nail shop, Kelly suggested the nail shop that I went to. Okay. She helped me out. So, shout out to you, Kelly. I think that for the most part, they are a good addition to the show. And the reason why I say that is because, Kelly is just over the top. She's kind of like, mouth is crazy. She don't care what she say to people.
I like it.
Yeah, she's very energetic.
Yeah.
And so, I think she's a good addition. I think Angela, she has obviously the husband. She's stand on business. She's definitely, she seems like she would be really nice and cool, but you could tell you better not push her.
I really want, next season, if she's granted the opportunity, don't hold back, Miss Angela, because we see you got it.
What, the body?
No, she has the mouth of the South that people wants to see.
Oh, that she would read you.
Oh, girl, down to the ground, to them, all through them 12s, she gonna read you.
Yeah, I feel like she's definitely been reading people.
She has, but she's been really
she been classy.
Demure?
She has been, but I think she can still read in a classy way.
I think she been reading in a classy way. But what I'm saying is, I feel like most Taurus, she's slow to anger. So,
and I was just about to pause it too. And I was going to say with the other woman, I think what she's trying to say is let's not take so long to get to it, basically, because Angela had like a slow start as the season started. We weren't sure what we were going to get from Angela, how we feeling about Angela or anything. But as it progressed, it took about 7 episodes for us to really get into the meat of it. Earlier on, Kelly was getting to the meat of it. So I think we've been more entertained, really liking the personality of Angela. We've been really here for Angela. And I think that's what she's saying. Like, really do it more. Like, give it to these ladies, but come out the gate swinging. Like, don't just wait. But I kind of liked how Angela handled it this season. I think next season, with her being more comfortable with the ladies, she is going to come out swinging because she's going to know more about y'all at that point. However, this is new territory for her. So I think she was just trying to get a feel for things and figure people out or whatever the case is. And once she got comfortable enough, boom, she got into some things. But can I also say that maybe the producers also know who they wanted to tag in? Maybe they realize you're not giving us a whole lot. And now that Kenya is gone, we need somebody else that's finna like get the pot stirred. So you did a good job over there when it came down to the bank. We may need you to do it a little bit more. And she leaned into it. All right. And she's been doing a great job. And talk about quick. And I like the quick on your feet. Right? When you over there talking about, girl, listen, okay, not as much as you. Okay, with those stretch marks around it. Okay, you got miles on your mouth. I said, baby. Yes, Angela, be quick with it. We love it. So I will say that about Angela. So y'all let me know if y'all was feeling the same way. But there's another post that I do want us to get into by Kandi. So let's see what she's saying here. It's just a few more seconds here.
And as far as with Britt, like obviously I hate all the drama that has come from the situation.
I do too.
I mean, she's a pretty lady, and
She's pretty.
I think the thing about it, the only thing that I didn't like from what I see is that she kept dropping things that have been said on the show. And as far as with Britt, like
she kept dropping things that's been said on the show. Basically, what she's saying, at least what I'm hearing, is that Britt is not original. Basically, she's not original. She's not bringing moments that are going to be memorable for her. That's in her favor, right? We're gonna remember her, but we're gonna always remember what Kenya Moore did. Right. And we're going to remember her for doing too damn much at the bank. Talking about a gun, pow, pow, pew, pew, whatever. However, she's not bringing nothing. We're going to remember Kelly for not being afraid to get straight to it. Why you took that lady husband, though? We're going to remember Angela for sitting up there saying, not with those stretch marks around your mouth. You got miles on your mouth. Miles on your mouth, baby. Okay? Not M-O-M. It's not giving mom, but it is giving miles on your mouth. Child, I can't. That's crazy. So yeah, we're gonna remember that. We're gonna remember for her. We're gonna remember her being like y'all want to be worried about me and what I got going on. Y'all want to talk that SHI about me behind my back. Y'all never like to be confronted. So let me go ahead and put you two in a position where y'all gonna have to confront y'all stuff because somebody's scared. Porsha, Shamea. So I mean, I do agree. I will say this though. Although I have not been a fan of Britt's this season, in more ways than one, because her stories just don't make sense. Even outside of the Kenya situation, I don't even know if I would have liked Britt, to be honest with you, just based on how she shows up on camera. But what I will say is, should she get another season, I am going to give her a chance. Because y'all know I give Ashley Darby a chance every season. And Ashley Darby always finds her way, okay, in other places aside from my heart. And I just be done with her in the first 5 episodes, I swear. But I am going to give the same thing to Britt come next season. I'm going to give her a brand new start should she, return. But we'll see. It's also going to be dependent upon how that reunion ends. But let me know your thoughts about that. Are y'all going to be willing to give Britt another chance if Bravo gives her another chance? I'm probably gonna give a little piece of grace. Everybody gonna get like a clean slate, just a little bit. I mean, I was even willing to give Porsha one this season. But anywho, child, let's go ahead and keep going because when it comes to Nene Leakes, she did do a sit down with you know what? Before we get to Nene Leakes, do I want to? Yeah, let's keep going. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's talk about Nene Leakes because, like I said, she does do this sit down with Tamar Braxton. All right, and before she did the sit down with Tamar Braxton, she did a sit down with the young lady from Bassett. And when she did that sit down, they were talking about Porsha and Angela Oakley and, how Nene felt about, what Porsha did. And I do want us to check that out. I do have a few timestamps over here that I want us to, tap into. So let us tap into that. All right, real quick. Let's get into it.
Said it was the Hennessy. She said, I don't remember anything that happened that night. So I would love to get your thoughts on that. Would you forgive a girlfriend for making a comment like that when she's inebriated?
First, I have to depend on the girlfriend.
Okay.
One. And two, I don't care who she is. I will be looking at her side eye.
Yeah.
Even drinking, why would you even make a comment like that?
Yeah.
That's a bit much for me.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
was a lot. It was a lot. But you know, Angela Oakley is in the news a lot these days. People are loving her on Housewives.
Okay,
and
great.
Carlos King actually said that she was offered Housewives from season 3 through 9. Do
Okay.
you remember seeing any rumors about her?
No, I don't. But I have my own relationship with Angela Oakley. I have an organization called Ladies of Success. She joined that organization a few years ago, and so that's where she and I met at.
Yeah.
And but no, when they're casting on Housewives, sometimes we get to know who they're casting. Usually when that person has gotten kind of far in the casting process. Yeah. If there's somebody they're just pursuing, they probably didn't tell us about it.
Right, yeah.
But these girls usually talk so much, they'll come out and be like, they were looking for me to be a housewife. You be like, girl,
They wanted me.
they wanted me. It's like, girl, they didn't really want you. They were just trying to talk to you.
Scouting,
Yeah.
yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, speaking of scouting, someone who wants to get scouted is Mia Thornton from the Real Housewives of Potomac.
Okay.
Now, you know, she moved to Atlanta. She quit Potomac.
Yeah.
And now she actually came out and said on Posted on the Corner with her man Ink that she would love to join Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said they have real friendships on there. She thinks she could get along with the group. She's been hanging with the ladies. Would you see her on there? Could you see that?
I don't know about the real friendships. Okay, we can rethink that one. But did she quit?
She did. She's done with Potomac. They've already started filming without her.
Or did she quit?
She quit. That's what she said. That's what
Probably.
she said. Yes.
Yeah, she probably quit. But
I caught that. I caught that. Yes.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't watch the show.
Yeah.
So I do know Mia from clips and things that's coming down social media, and I think she and I may have DM'd each other once or twice. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure she'll make great housewives with the rest of these girls.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just come on down here and just be messy. You should fit right on in.
Do you think the girls this season are messier than usual, or is this about the same mess as always on Atlanta?
I don't watch the show.
Okay. You just see the
So
clips.
I don't know. I don't watch the show, so I don't know if they're messier or what. But mess sells.
Mess sells.
So it works.
Mess sells.
So y'all just heard what Mr. Nene had to say. She does not agree or support what Miss Porsha did. Okay. And I mean, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't like what Porsha did. But that was that. I think this girl name is Danny. I'm not sure what the boss up young lady's name is, but she looked super cute. I like those bangs. And that was a cute little sit down between the two of them. After that, Nene does go on and she has a conversation with Miss Tamar. And Tamar got into a few things, okay, that I want us to kind of tap into real quick. And one of the things that Tamar kind of got into was like the transition from music to TV. And really, we don't have to get into that part. She talks about the transition from music to TV. And then she also goes into the conversation of during the reel. I think she was saying that the Braxton show is her show because she's like executive producing it or something like that. But anywho, let us get to the portion where she taps into the reel, because when she starts talking about the reel, Nene Leakes talks about how they really wanted her to be a part of the reel. And when they wanted her to be a part of the reel, I guess there was like maybe some scheduling conflict or something like that. And I guess they went with Loni Love. And, Miss Tamar hasn't been feeling Loni Love for a very long time. So we're going to go ahead and check out what it is that Tamar had to say about Loni. It's not nice.
It's my show.
I got to say to you guys, Tamar did the reel. How many years did you do the reel?
3 seasons, I think.
You did the reel for 3 seasons. So this is a little story that a lot of you guys do not know out there. I was asked to be on the reel. And this was in the beginning of the process of them casting. I think it was, I'm sure it was Tamar and the other girls, but I was asked to be one of the first girls when the show first originally started. I had the contract. And I ended up not doing the reel, and they ended up casting Loni Love. Y'all know y'all would have liked me first. I'm just kidding. I was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I just did not do the reel. But Tamar ultimately did the reel, and I remember so well talking to
I wish they would
Tamar.
have told me.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember talking to Tamar. I remember talking to you, and you said this to me, like they had casted all of you guys, and you were like, we're all going out to dinner. I believe all y'all went to like Mr. Chow.
Because Vince.
Yeah, y'all all went together to Mr. Chow to kind of like, just make sure that you guys were friends and sisters, and you guys had the same vision and all that. You produced on there as well.
I did.
Wow,
I had a hand
Tamar.
in creating the show. That's why I'm saying I wish they would have told me that, because I wouldn't have cast Big Bad Cadillac.
I'm finna get ready to leave.
We probably would be in our 10th season by now. Thanks. Ain't that dumb?
I don't think it's that funny. I'm sorry.
Red, I can't stand your laugh.
And I know which Red she talking about. I didn't know he was still working on
Jade.
So Tamar, Big Back Cadillac. What
How
happened?
the back
I
get
don't
so
like
big?
that he laughed.
I don't know. But what happened, Tamar? Because okay, so when we say Big Back Cadillac, who are we talking about?
The person you just named.
Oh, so Loni ended up being the person in the place of where I think, that's what I think. I'm just assuming now. They came to me with the contract for the Real, and then I ultimately did not do it.
I don't
because of the Real
understand
Housewives.
that.
Well, and when I go back,
did Bravo
to
not let you do
I
it?
think it was Loni. I could have been wrong, but you just put me on to something thinking like we had two big personalities. But I don't think, because they knew you were coming from the jump.
They knew that. They built the show.
Like,
around
I
it
always
because
thought it was Loni. I always thought it was Loni.
Did she tell the people that?
You and Vince pitched this. How did this go?
did.
How did this work?
So we was at the Beverly Hills Hotel. That's Vince's other place.
Yeah.
And I had a meeting with Telepictures.
Nice.
And they wanted to explore doing the Tamar Braxton talk show.
Okay.
And that's something, it's still a big dream of mine, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, I had the Braxtons, I had Tamar and Vince, I had Love and War, and that was gone crazy, right? And they was like, well, you're gonna have to be here every day. And Vince was like, absolutely not. So let's build a show where there's people around her, so if she's out, that the show can carry on.
Right.
And we went from there, and we did we had a lot of what's the name of it, tests.
Yeah,
We had 2 days. I was big and pregnant too, where people would come in and out and do test shoots with me. And I met with Sally Ann Celsino, who's still a good friend of mine, and we came up with a lot of show ideas, and we created The Real.
Okay, so who came up with the name? Did they?
Sally Ann.
Okay, she came up with the name.
Yeah, but
The
we
Real.
pondered for like weeks and weeks, and she called me and said, The Real. I was like, oh, okay.
So when you're producing a show like The Real, do you have a say-so in the casting, or you really?
I had a lot to say so.
I have
casted-
to pause there and say, I was always trying to figure out what the connection was with Tamar and Vince and his control or non-control or whatever with the show that led to her being kicked off. And you know what's so interesting? It just makes me think about reality TV. And I don't know why I never thought it could work like that in the world of television like that. And I guess it does make sense and work like that when you have an ensemble cast, right? Because that's still the same thing with The Real. So just like they said, if she's out, then we have other people that's able to sit there in place, and the show could continue to go on if she's not there. But I also feel like, hell, was that their whole plan, was to create something in an effort to get you up off the table? Is what I'm wondering. If they got to create a whole cast, basically they also were saying that you weren't good enough to stand alone, is what I'm hearing. So they figured out a better way to say, I don't think the show will work with just Tamar. Let's get some other folks around her, and made you think that they're building the cast around you, when the whole goal was to likely get rid of you within that time frame anyway, especially if your contract was probably set up for you to get so much of money every year. And they probably was like, nah, how can we do this and not, keep giving her all this money? And then it kind of helped them if they got one of your cast members constantly going back complaining on you or whatever. But I would have never thought that y'all could create a show, do all of that, and it could be snatched from up under you, which is interesting because that just makes me think of like Mariah, right? With Married to Medicine. She brought forth Married to Medicine. I guess the cast or whatever had their issues with her. Excuse me, maybe even producers behind the scenes. And that could have been the situation as well with The Real, where Some of the producers may not have liked Tamar, right? And they ended up getting Mariah up out the way, like they got Tamar and them up out the way. And I wonder if they were able to still make some money off that show, since it was their idea that they brought forth to the network. Did you guys sell the idea as a whole? Did you keep some sort of control over it to where if she's no longer a part of the show, because y'all created the concept, gave it to them, that you guys are still generating money from it? Similar to Mariah. Mariah still gets paid for Married to Medicine, even though she's not on that show. How much, I don't know, but she's still making some money from it. So that's what I kind of wonder too, with the Tamar situation. But let's keep going.
Tamara, and
Okay,
also casted Adrian.
Okay, nice.
And Sally Ann casted Jenny Ma, and I'm assuming she casted Big Bad Cadillac.
Yeah. Okay. So Big Bad Cadillac. I mean, not Big Bad Cadillac.
Big Bad Cadillac.
I said it wrong. I mean, so we're talking about Loni. I've actually done a lot of work with Loni. I recently did the Oscars with Loni.
God.
So I also had.
She had kitten heels on.
I had ladies.
Did she have kitten heels on?
I can't remember, but I did Ladies Night Out in comedy, and she was on that show as well.
Was she easy to work with?
I just hosted it, and Greg kind of like helped.
Nene trying, baby. She trying.
She wanted to
hard.
go on last.
She went on last. Yeah, she closed the show. If I mean,
Tamar, what you trying to say? Are you trying to say that she's self-centered? She likes all attention to be on her? Now, I will be honest and say, okay? I will be honest and say, at times, Loni got on my nerves a little piece, because I felt like when Tamar left the show, they went over to the Breakfast Club. She wanted to be the mouthpiece for everybody. Right? You don't want to take the hits when somebody is coming at you directly because they feel a way about you, but you also want to be the person that speaks for everybody. And I think that's what got on my nerves with Loni. I think sometimes she played big sister a little too damn much. Okay? And based on her positioning on the show, which is also interesting, it looked like they was trying to build the damn show around Loni versus it being built around Tamar. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, could that have been the case? Because I could have sworn Loni went over to Breakfast Club and kind of talked about that. I think she was trying to work on her own thing too. So I wouldn't be surprised if the issue ain't really with her. And maybe it could be still, because I don't know what Loni may have said about Tamar behind the scenes. But I'm like, shoot, sometimes it be the people in the back that you don't see that could be stirring the pot just a bit. It be the people that you don't see that could have been a little piece of messy up in there, telling you one thing, securing the deal with you, telling Loni one thing, securing the thing with Loni, and then also like, well, we don't think that either one of them will stand alone doing a show solo. Maybe that's what they thought. I don't know if that's what they thought. I'm just, trying to figure it out myself. And let's put them on an ensemble cast together, and then, we'll take some other recommendations that they have. Right? So, I mean, it could have been that too. Let's see.
make no mistake, she did close the show. I actually hosted the show, so I went in between every artist, as the host. I brought each artist to the stage. Mm-hmm. So, like working on Housewives, when I'm working with all of these different personalities, we don't always get along. How was it with the rest of the girls at Over For Real?
Listen, let me tell you something. It's the craziest thing, and it was so heartbreaking. I know you remember at that time, because I used to call you every single day, a few times a day. I was heartbroken because those girls were like my sisters.
Yeah.
But thank God.
So you call Nene every single day. Oh, maybe you call Nene after the fact. Once she left, she called Nene a lot. Okay, because I was going to say, if you talk to her every day like that, why didn't you know that Nene was being considered? I don't know why they didn't even tell you. If you had such a heavy decision in who would be a part of the cast or who to suggest for the cast, then I don't know why they didn't bring Nene. But I think Nene ended up saying something about personalities, even though Nene was like, well, I was doing Housewives, so I didn't do the show. But it sounds like they felt like her personality and Tamar's personality may have been a bit too much for daytime television or something. That's what I'm hearing. But let's keep going.
Now, me and Tam are real close. Me and Adrian is real close. Her husband and I are real close. I have a good. I haven't seen Jeannie. I would like to though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say Jeannie used to get on my fucking nerves on The Real? When I tell you, I I was so annoyed with her every time she opened her mouth. But as I continued to like watch some stuff over time, I ended up liking Jenny. I did. I did. You know, I did like Jenny. Jenny ended up getting with Jeezy. I was like, okay, I'm not mad at it. You know, at first I'm like, okay, I think I think she looks better with him. Right? Child, this divorce, honey. This divorce went down with Jenny and Jeezy. And listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I know some people have rolled down for Jeezy, baby. But I've been on Jenny's side. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I am here for me some Jenny. Okay? It's crazy. But that's how it be. You know, you watch people, you may not like them over time. You continue to give them a chance, and then your whole perspective about them just changes. And I really like Jenny Mai.
It's out here in Atlanta for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but on a show like that, Tamar, obviously there's different personalities, and everybody isn't getting along, right? How did you exit the reel? What really happened?
I don't know. It was the summertime. It wasn't even in production. It's really difficult to talk about because now the relationship with WeTV and myself now that like they're really going out of their way to repair that relationship.
Okay.
And so I don't really want to speak about the past so much because they have done right by me right now. But I think that at that time it was a lot of smoke and mirrors and it was a lot of rocks thrown and they were trying to protect themselves. But I was definitely in a slave contract. Like I said before, Vince and I had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea what we were signing. And the refusal to change the paperwork instead of the money let us in to situations we couldn't do shit.
So without speaking about the contract.
So then if it was the contract, then why were you solely upset with Loni? I think she tried to say Loni was saying stuff behind the scenes, but it seems like regardless of what she was saying, it was the contract issue.
In the network, I mean the girls, your castmates.
I don't think it had anything to do with them outside of Big Bad Cadillac.
You don't.
But I do know for certain that Big Bad Cadillac had multiple meetings about me.
Really?
Yes.
To take you off the show.
To take me off of the show. She didn't understand why I had so much time off, although I was in the hospital fighting for my life.
But as a producer.
Yeah.
And a
Now, I will say that, okay, if she was having multiple meetings, I'll feel away. Yes, I would. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'd be calling her Big Bad Cadillac, but I'll definitely be feeling away because at times, Tamar and Loni used to be close. They used to be with each other and all of that. So I would feel a way to know that BITCH, I had you around me, around my family. I'm thinking you cool and come to find out you going behind my back, having conversations about me, bitch. Okay, when all you had to do was pick up the phone and find out why I'm missing so much because I'm sick as hell. But you over there talking shit about me, I probably would have, I would be in my feelings. I would. I don't know how long though. You know, I guess it depends on if she really saw her like as like a real friend. Then maybe I don't know. Everybody different, y'all.
Talent on the show.
Yeah. But when someone else owns you, that other contract that you have
that's very true. People don't
outside
know
of that is not and void, really. Because you
don't have that kind of control. Right. So with the guests coming on the show, do you guys get to say, oh no, don't bring Nene on the show because I really don't like Nene right now. So you don't.
Yeah, but I know Big Bad Cadillac said that about somebody else that I was having beef with, and that was absolutely not true. But I think obviously you wouldn't want somebody on your talk show that has an issue with another host.
Yeah, another host.
And she would say a lot of that, like, because I remember Todd Chrisley called me, and he was saying that Big Bad Cadillac was saying that I don't want him on the show. And we were friends. I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know that you was trying to get on the show. And I think there was something with Toya that she put in her book that I stopped her from being on the show, and I didn't even know anything about it. But I do know that first season and second season that they were trying to not get so many reality people on the show because we wanted to be looked at as a real talk show. And that had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? The booker for the show is the booker for the show. That's not my job.
Well, how do you handle that when you have a friend like Nene and I'm like, I want to be on the show, and you're like, well,
I would never do that.
We can't get you on right now.
You can put in for people.
Yeah, you
know
can.
What I mean? You can put in for people, but I didn't have anything to really do with that.
So do you think somewhere down the road you and Loni will repair your relationship?
For what?
I mean,
What's
listen,
the relationship?
things happen.
Listen, let me tell you something. The relationship matters when it needs to matter. You know what I mean? When somebody's supposed to have your back and they don't have your back, how we gonna go back?
I don't know.
You wrote about me in your book, dog.
I don't remember.
You didn't call me. You didn't say nothing to me. You let the public think that I was a problem. And you know you've never had a problem with me. And that's my issue. You know what I mean? Like, we never had a falling out. She was always welcome to my home. You know, I don't know. And
I saw her at your home during that birthday weekend.
during the birthday weekend, she would come and play with Logan, and you know, and then she would get on the Breakfast Club and have a whole nother different conversation. And it's hurtful.
Child.
Well, people have said things like you fall out with your friends. So did you fall out with Tiny?
Did I? No, I think Tiny and I had a disagreement because we were on tour
Because
together.
you're her daughter's
godmother, and she's Logan's godmother.
Yeah, that little girl is so talented.
She's me.
Isn't she?
She's me.
She
at that
really
age.
is. She really
Yeah.
is. But are you guys talking?
Yeah, we're good.
You guys are good. You guys are good. So that's good. I mean, listen, I feel
That
like
means that nah, we ain't that good. We don't really talk how we used to talk, but you know, I may send her a text here or there, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, girl, whatever. But we don't really get up like that for real, because I still sort of feel away. That's what I'm getting.
as girlfriends, we're all.
But why do people say I fall out with everybody?
I ain't got no ill feelings for
I mean,
real.
I don't
but
know. That's
still
what they
feel
said.
away.
No, that's what my sister said.
Okay, they say you fall out with everybody. Okay,
That's a lot.
Okay, you and Kandi, what's your problem?
Candy, if you're watching it, and we know you're watching,
Wait a minute. Tamar, this why you can't make up with folks. Now, the way Nene turned. First of all, why you brought up Kandi, Nene? First of all, okay. Not you know she watching. It's crazy because you making it sound like Kandi keeps up with you like that. And even if she does, it makes you look worse because every time you're the one saying something about her, whether it's a video going viral, whether you're doing an interview or something, where you putting a tweet out, a IG story, and Kandi don't really say a whole lot, you know. So it does make you look more, I don't want to say obsessed, but more in tune to what she got going on versus the other way around, you know, because she's not saying anything or addressing you. And I don't see her addressing this situation either. Right. But who knows? She might, but let's get into it.
You guys are good. You guys are good. So that's good. I mean, listen, I feel like as girlfriends, we're all.
but why do people say I fall out with everybody?
I mean, I don't know. That's what they said.
No, that's what my sister said.
Okay, they say you fall out with everybody. Okay,
That's a lot.
Okay, you and Kandi, what's your problem?
Candy, if you're watching it, and we know you're watching, the thing is this: we don't have an issue with you. We're not jealous of you. We
Who said
actually
that?
celebrate your success. No, seriously. But you got to be a better person. And the reason why you got to be a better person is because it's not fair to the people who have been following our careers.
Nene's reactions. Now, I'm wondering, like, granted, I don't know what Kandi do in her day-to-day life or how she shows up with these other folks and stuff, but she just doesn't seem like that person to me. So what do you mean she gotta be a better person in what way? Let me let her talk. Let me just let her so I can
Knowing
understand.
that you are doing things behind the scenes.
Behind
knowing
the
that you are
scenes.
lying on people.
Lying.
No,
Behind the scenes,
no,
honey.
it's not fair. It's not fair. Because we like
Now,
you.
Nene, what has she done to you behind the scenes when, if anything, Kandi has given you more props than you've given to her? Stop that now.
We cheerlead for you. Y'all got black love. You know, we're happy
Stop
for
that,
you.
ma'am.
It has nothing to do with that. But for you to deliberately use the public's opinion to manipulate them into thinking that people are really coming after you when we're not, that's not right.
But you did, love. Clearly, because you went from she's doing things to behind the scenes to using the public's opinion to make people seem like we're coming after you. But I mean, to me, it seemed like you are, because every time we look up, y'all the ones saying and doing stuff, right? With the whole video when that y'all was at the concert and Todd approaching such and such, and then your man this and that, then your man turned around and aired you out. I don't know. I just kind of disagree with Tamar here. I mean, you and Kandi kind of fell out that time with the whole T.S. Madison Kaya when they were doing the when they had their show together. And Kaya, I think Kaya drug I think T.S. Madison and Kandi may be good, but I think Kaya drug Kandi at the time. Right? So then for you to want to bring them on to the set that Kandi and them made room for you to be a part of, Kandi felt like that was a bit disrespectful. She felt like she didn't want them there, so she made them leave. And then I guess you felt the way. I just need to know what else. I would love to know what is being done behind the scenes that you feel like it's all Kandi's fault because she's letting the public, I don't know, the public are creating their own thoughts about this situation. In my personal, I just would like to know what else is there that's happening behind the scenes that's supposed to change our minds on how we view her and you. Y'all let me know. Let's keep going.
And for you to sit back and because you have the public's opinion because it's so easy because of the character you have created on Housewives and things like that, to fall into that, that's not fair because you know I didn't do nothing to you. I apologized to that girl in that conversation 15 times.
I would love to sit down with Kandi.
Well, I'm not sitting down with her until she tells the people.
I would love to sit down with Kandi.
I'm not because it's
I
not
said
fair.
I would love to sit down with
Oh, that's great.
Kandi.
I'm not sitting down until she says, hey, party people, I lied, and now we can sit down.
What did she lie about? Lied about what?
Because I want to know why.
Would you sit down with Loni?
For?
You said if they said I lied
Well, sit down. I think
just to clear the air, just so that we can move on.
The air is
So
clear.
basically, you want to be back friends with Kandi. Okay, that's what this really is all about. Because the same thing you trying to say about the reason as to why you would sit down with Kandi should be the reason you'll sit down with Loni.
Sometimes you have to accept people's behavior and take that into.
You might have to accept Kandi's, either that or Kandi's has accepted yours and she moving forward.
Character, and that's not a person that I want in my life. I want
That's true.
real.
It's not that you have to have
people.
them in your life, Tamar. You can love people from afar.
And
but
I
you
do.
also can just move on, like just
And I
to
have.
be able to talk to people. And
I
move
haven't
on.
talked about Big Back Cadillac till now.
Okay, so then you won't talk about her again.
Ever. For what?
It doesn't even make any sense. It's like, okay, at this point, let's just move on.
I wish her and her kitten Wills well. Kitten Hills. Well,
I can't take it because I can't wear that size heel.
yes, you can. We wear the same size.
Sure, but I can't wear them heels. Them things is tall, girl.
Okay, so here is the thing.
No.
I'm coming back.
Child, that's just a mess. Y'all let me know your thoughts on Tamar, why she's feeling such a way about Kandi. What y'all know about behind the scenes, okay? As to why Tamar is still upset with Kandi till this day over some stuff. You know, as Tamar was talking about this situation with Loni Love, it kind of prompted me to want to go back
Everybody
and
has a
get
different
some audio or video of this Loni Love situation. So I just need to know more. So let me see if I can get this and we talk about it. Okay, hold on one second.
Everybody has a different
Okay, here we go.
story with Tamar. My story is this. She was getting to the point where I was at her house one day. This is after Dancing with the Stars, all this other kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. She looked at me. She said, "Hey, I want to get a new manager." And I was sitting in her kitchen, and I was like, "Well, I don't know about that." And she said, "You know, Rushion McDonald. Rushion McDonald is Steve Harvey's ex-manager." Mm-hmm. So she said, "You know, Rushion, give me his number." I said, "Okay." Because I think she's a very talented girl. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Here, I'm going to give you his number." We were sitting in her, and she knows this story. Mm-hmm. We were sitting there, and she said, "Well, what about him?" Everybody, and she pointed out, saying to Vince. Because Vince wasn't there. Vince was out the room. And I said, "That's your husband. I don't know. Talk to him or whatever. Tell him you want to code something." Mm-hmm. But I believed in her talent so much that if she asked me for something, we all sisters.
Right. When she was sick, we all went to the hospital to see her.
We sure did.
Even when her sisters wasn't around, we were around for her. So when the incident happened, when she got fired, I didn't know about it because I went on the Wendy Williams show that Friday. Why would I go on a Wendy Williams show if I knew one of my castmates was going to get fired that next Monday? I got a call on Saturday. They said that Tamar was being let go. I asked a question. We all got on a text, and we were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
We was like,
We were calling her.
We called her. She's not picking up the phone, nothing, right? Now, remember, the first person, she stopped communicating with us. The first person, she never said, she put out an Instagram that said she had been backstabbed. And the first person she unfollowed was me, okay? So people assume that I was the one. And then I know Tamar because she's a good person. She probably saw all the heat that I was getting. Then she unfollowed Jeannie. Then after a couple of days, she unfollowed these two. These two were still trying to, get in contact with her because they went to Logan's birthday party. They went to Logan's birthday party to talk to her. And you can Google all of this because they were like, oh, Tamara and Adrian has a play date while these two, because we were getting hammered. So.
And I was in Singapore, and I actually was still talking to her and Vince at the time.
But she totally stopped. This is the thing. Then, when all of that happened, I get on a plane to go to Atlanta. Who's in front? This is how God works. Who's in front of me first class? Her sister, Tawanda. Her sister, Tawanda, said, Lonnie, I am so sorry this is happening to you. We know you didn't have nothing to do with it. She said, but I'm going to tell you something. They just did an emergency filming of the Braxton family values, and you need to see the episode. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you just need to see the episode. I was like, what? Well, I had a person that worked at WeTV. When you're a good person, people will come for you. The person that worked at WeTV contacted me and said, look, we saw the rough cut of the Braxton family values. You are being named, the girls are being named, and Vince is doing the naming. Wow. So I called my attorney. I didn't tell these girls this. This is the first time they're hearing this. I sat here and I called my attorney. I said, you got to call WeTV and let them know that if they're naming us, we're going to have legal action because we had nothing to do with this defamation of character. So when you look at that WeTV, they turned around and they did an extra cut. But if you Google, you can see that there was a blogger that actually saw the rough cut, and it says Vince names us, saying that we jealous. He names me specifically. And you know why I say he does that? Because I gave her the number of Rashawn McDonald.
Look how that story just
So you may not have gotten her fired. You may not have gotten her fired, but you definitely got to get a divorce.
That's what Loni is saying. All right. And that's why I said earlier that the producers may have been playing y'all against each other because y'all both was supposed to get a show or were working on a show or something like that. So they could have told you that Loni was the one that was coming to the front, having meetings about you, trying to get you off the show, this and that. I don't know who the hell to believe, but y'all let me know. But we're going to get into part 2 of that.
You may not have gotten her fired, but you definitely got to get a divorce.
You know what, Charlamagne?
That's all you heard.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody clearly didn't like Tamar, though, right?
No.
They don't just fire you for no reason. So why would she let go? Does anybody know why she let go?
Don't know.
Somebody from the production side.
That's above my pay grade.
I can decide who's on the show.
Okay, let me tell y'all something, because we're gonna get this out the open, okay? Everybody here got a different type of contract. I told y'all I already had a production deal, okay? Because I'm trying to do my own show.
Sometimes she still wants to do her own show.
These are some good girls. These are some good girls. We were all together with her. She was on 4 networks. We supported her. Nobody was jealous.
Went to Dancing with the Stars.
Everything. We were sitting up there. We would go support her, everything. I just think she's embarrassed. I think she's embarrassed. I think that she knows the truth,
and this is why Tamar. Another reason why Tamar just does not rock with Tawanda, because for you to give Loni a heads up and tell her, I personally feel like, to me, that's more loyalty to a person that's not in your fam and you doing this with, y'all doing this business together, you and your sister. Doing this show together, and for you to tell Loni, you just need to see, girl, girl, this right here, they naming you, girl. That was a bit of oppish against your sister, I will say. But I understand if she may have felt like that's wrong, y'all wrong for doing that. But then at the same time, Tawanda, you weren't there. You're not working in that same space as Tamar. you know, or to know what all was told to her or anything, right? So I don't know. I just kind of feel like that may have been a bit messed up. Just a little piece, you know. But girl.
And this is the thing. If you don't like us, if you didn't like us, and you thought we had you fired, why would you want to sit with us when we got all nominated for an Emmy? See, y'all don't ask the right questions. Y'all don't ask because because you know we've been accused of she invented the show and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's
was because that was not true.
That's not true.
But let's bring Tamar in. She's here.
Come on, Tamar.
I'm hollering because Angela playing.
I want to have a conversation because
I have no beef.
We need to have a conversation.
So now Loni is saying here, and this is old, okay? So it seems like this may be something Loni been saying, that Tamar did not create this show. And that's where, for me, it's somebody else or other people involved in this that has a hand in the fallout of the friendship and her also not being a part of this show anymore. Because Tamar is giving a full breakdown to Nene about how she and her husband created The Real. Then you got Loni talking about how she had a production deal. So that means she was already in communication with some people as well, which is why, in my opinion, they didn't feel like they both could hold the showdown on their own. So that's why they said, let's create a cast around them. Is what it is that I'm thinking. And I feel like conversations were being had with Tamar like this, and then conversations were being had with Loni like this. And I also feel like they may have been talking to different people, right? That Tamar may have been assigned a important person over there, okay, a leader over there, and then you got somebody else talking to Loni as a leader. But those two leaders may be going back, having a conversation with each other, and then relaying certain information back, which is why, like, maybe Tamar felt comfortable. I'm sorry, not Tamar, but Loni felt comfortable to ask that leader, like, what's going on with Tamar? Like, why she keep missing it? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe she felt comfortable to confide in that person, not knowing if that is indeed true. Right, based on what Tamar is saying, but if that is indeed true, that Loni was, going to meetings, maybe it was a particular person she was talking to, thinking she could trust them, and that person went back and told this person. That person came back and relayed some shit to this woman. All right, so I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be a damn situation like Shamea, where you hear the story and then once you run it back, it's completely different than what the hell really happened. So I don't know, child.
So y'all have spoke since.
No.
Wow.
But none of our
didn't get a
informations have
response.
changed.
No.
Yeah, none of our numbers have changed.
No.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah, and I would find out how she felt about us via Instagram and via Twitter.
Yeah.
That's how I would find out.
We heard that y'all was complaining because Vince would be standing behind the scenes with his mouth open all the time.
You know what?
It made people uncomfortable.
I'm done.
If that's
You know
not true,
what?
this
Let me
guy-
tell you. Let me tell you. Vince at the top this is
He was
honest
really
to truth.
invested.
He was invested. He would help us. He was all about, all of us like getting something from the studio. Something happened and he knows what happens. But he's trying to save face, I believe, because he knows that something had happened with him and Tamar. Either some deal messed up. I don't know. I'm just telling you, it wasn't like.
When I listen to Loni, now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if Loni lying about this, because Tamar did say it was an issue with the paperwork, right? It seems like the reason she got let go of it was because of maybe how the paperwork was handled. Her and Vince didn't know what they were doing. Vince was the one primarily handling the paperwork. Shortly after her leaving The Real, she divorced him. So I would think that the paperwork and things were messed up, which is why she left. But on top of that, she did learn information about Loni that made her feel away, and I don't know if that information was true or not, but
they had a meeting. We tiptoed to the office. Let's get it. It wasn't nothing like that. We don't even have that type of power. We ain't even got our names on the front of The Real. Do we look at The Real? Do you ever see our names on the front? No, our names ain't on the front of the show. We ain't got no power.
All right.
Loni won her own show, y'all. That's basically what she's telling
I think
us.
this is a pilot for that.
Well, I have one girl chat question for y'all.
Yes.
Right?
Please.
So our topic for today is I want to talk about this article I read in the New York Post.
And the ladies got to go fast. So
I know, that's why I'm
And
doing
we
this
still got
topic
to ask
now.
Tamara about her alleged racist husband.
Oh my God.
May not have gotten her fired, but
y'all see how what's his name? Charlamagne used to always cut off Angela Yee child. She just trying to get this quick little thing in, and he like, nah, we need to talk about this racist husband. Like, whoa, not granted. I mean, we would like to know, however, you know, he always would derail her conversations. But aside from that, that's what's going on over there with the ladies of well, not really the ladies of the real, but more so Tamar after this sit down with Nene Leakes. But I feel like that's gonna always be a peculiar situation. But I just wanted to come give y'all a little update on what's happening with Real Housewives and stuff, and all of that, and the sit down that Nene Leakes had with Tamar. So now you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below. Let me know how you're feeling about everything. What are your thoughts about what Tamar had to say about Miss Kandi? Okay, and Lonnie Love referring to her as, you know, what she said. So leave everything down below. Of course, I am Jami. That's me. You can find me on social media. Be sure to like up this video, comment, subscribe, all of that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, honey. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cash died at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can feel the pool.